As Salem's couples deal with the New Year's Eve love fest aftermath, Chanel shuts Johnny down and goes after Joy. On today's Days of Our Lives, Stephanie awakens from a dream of making love to Alex, prompting Philip to meet her in bed with a cheerful Happy New Year. Steph recovers, but Philip notices that she appeared to be having a vivid dream. She claims ignorance, but Philip is very certain it was about Alex. Stephanie confesses, and Philip admits he made a mistake and couldn't help her get past Alex. She stops him from running out, but Philip realizes she isn't over Alex, despite his genuine interest in her. He wants to be in a relationship. Stephanie admits to having residual feelings for Chloe, but he does as well. They both want to move forward. Alex is her history, and Philip is her present. Days Philip sits wearing only an apron and clutching a cup of coffee while he and Stephanie converse over breakfast. It's enough to settle Philip down and eat breakfast together. He puts on an apron, prepares some eggs, and they sit down to eat. Stephanie is appropriately impressed by his cooking abilities. They discuss about him rejoining Titan, and he's glad she believes in him. Alex and Joy wake up uncomfortable in bed together, but she is relieved to learn that he is not married. But she wonders if she is stepping on him and Stephanie. He assures her that there is nothing and hasn't been for centuries. Plus, she's with his cousin. He tells Joy their tale, followed by his and Stephanie's. But he and Stephanie aren't compatible, and they need to move on. They agree that this is an awkward subject to have after spending the night together and resume kissing. After they finish, they dress, and Joy begins to plan her lines for the following day. They're with Faith. Chanel is not going to be happy. Alex believes Joy was in a no-win situation and assures her she is a tough cookie. Johnny arrives at the Body and Soul headquarters, shocked to see Abe there on New Year's Day. He informs Abe that Chanel has gone. Shortly later, Johnny informs Abe, who is startled, what occurred. Then, to make matters worse, he informs Abe that the lady he cheated with was Joy. Abe is upset, but Johnny claims it happened before she even tried out for the show. It was merely a coincidence, but he believed Abe should know. Anyway, it is absolutely finished. Most likely alongside his marriage. Abe tries to persuade Johnny that they can still salvage it, but Johnny does not trust him. He consistently made mistakes. But when Abe mentions that he slept with Joy, Johnny corrected him. Maybe you were more clear-headed than you thought. Johnny claims he couldn't betray her, yet he did so the moment he entered into Joy's room. And now he doesn't believe Chanel still loves him. Abe informs Johnny once more that Chanel requires time and that he must put in the effort. Johnny is eager to do whatever it takes, and he thanks Abe. He doesn't detest Johnny, but Paulina might be more difficult to win over. Dazed Johnny looks regretfully at Abe in the Body and Soul office. Paulina is astonished to see Chanel emerge from the guest room and wonders why she isn't at home with Johnny. Because I left him. Paulina is astonished and wants to know what happened. What didn't? She details Johnny's infidelity to her mother and how he exacted retribution on her for something she never did. Paulina only looks when she learns he cheated on Joy. They were complete strangers when they did this, which made things considerably worse for Paulina. But when Chanel insists they didn't have sex, Paulina simply glances at her. Well, why are you so upset? Chanel captures him fooling around with her. She tells her mother what occurred, and Paulina stutters somewhat. It sounds horrible, yet. But nothing, Chanel insists, and goes on about how nasty Johnny was from the time he suspected she was cheating on him. Paulina appears shocked. Paulina quickly turns her attention to Chanel, claiming that Johnny's behavior is unjustifiable. She's very sorry Chanel is going through this. Today is the first day of the new year, perhaps she should shower and dress to feel better. Chanel goes to do it, but she doesn't think she'll feel better. Dazed, Chanel stares down in disdain as she sits in her robe and speaks with Paulina at their kitchen table. Gabby and JJ wake up in bed together and softly kiss after agreeing that they are delighted he remained. They are stopped by something breaking downstairs. They hurry down, JJ holding a tennis racket and threatening, while Javi cowers on the floor, screaming not to murder him. He recognizes who it is, apologizes for smashing the bowl, and explains that he was making pancakes. JJ introduces himself to Javi's Joy, who observes that they appeared to have fun last night. They go to breakfast and discuss what they did for New Year's Eve. Javi went out alone and is acting strangely, and Gabby recognizes that the look on his face indicates that he is considering returning to Leo. He flees and taunts them not to do anything he wouldn't do while he's away. Or do. Dazed Gabby is amused when JJ, without a shirt, shakes Javi's hand in the kitchen. In the show's final minutes, Gabby and JJ have breakfast together, and she congratulates him on surviving Hurricane Javi. They flirt briefly before deciding to spend the day together after they both realize they are free. Philip dresses and tells Stephanie that he would love to remain, but he needs to go to the office. Xander is probably already there. They kiss goodbye in the doorway just as Alex arrives to meet them. Philip meets his cousin cheerfully and assures Alex that he and Stephanie had a wonderful New Year's Eve. He runs away, leaving Stephanie and Alex to wish each other a happy new year. When Abe arrives home, he says he needs to talk to Paulina, and they review Johnny and Chanel's notes. Paulina doubts Chanel will forgive Johnny anytime soon. Back at the Body and Soul office, Johnny plays with his ring, then takes out his phone and contacts his wife. Chanel answers at Horton Square, tells her husband she has nothing to say, and hangs up. She then turns to see Joy sitting on a bench, reading lines. You on the other hand. She storms over to face her. The clock struck midnight, ushering in a brand new year, and Salem's New Year's Eve Love Fest left its mark on the lives of several intertwined couples. The festivities, filled with confessions, heartbreaks, and a fair share of misunderstandings, created ripple effects that everyone in Salem was grappling with come morning. Chanel shuts Johnny down. As the New Year's Eve celebrations came to an end, Chanel Dupree found herself in an emotional confrontation with Johnny DiMera. Johnny had made an impassioned confession of his lingering feelings for Chanel during the countdown to midnight, catching her off guard. While Chanel had always held a special place for Johnny in her heart, she couldn't ignore the messy history between them. In the aftermath, Chanel sought clarity. Meeting Johnny at the town square the next day, she made her position clear. Johnny, you'll always mean something to me, she began, her voice steady despite the emotions swirling within. But we can't keep going back and forth like this. I've moved on, and I need you to respect that. Johnny's disappointment was evident, but Chanel's resolve left little room for argument. It was a tough decision for her to make, but she knew it was necessary. Clinging to the past would only prevent them both from moving forward. Chanel's bold move on Joy. With her chapter with Johnny firmly closed, Chanel turned her attention to Joy Wesley. Throughout the New Year's Eve festivities, Chanel couldn't help but notice the undeniable chemistry she shared with Joy. Their playful banter and stolen glances had left Chanel intrigued, and she decided it was time to explore what could be. Chanel approached Joy at Sweet Bits Bakery, where Joy had been working on a new pastry recipe. Joy, can we talk? Chanel asked, her heart pounding in her chest. Joy looked up, surprised but not unwelcoming. Sure, what's up? Taking a deep breath, Chanel confessed, I can't stop thinking about how much fun we had the other night. There's something about you that feels different. I'd like to see where this could go, if you're open to it. Joy's cheeks flushed, but her smile was genuine. I've been thinking about you too, she admitted. Maybe we should give it a shot. The mutual agreement to explore their connection marked a fresh start for both women. For Chanel, it was a chance to embrace something new and uncharted, and for Joy, it was an opportunity to open her heart in ways she hadn't before. Brady and Chloe's fragile truce. Elsewhere in Salem, Brady Black and Chloe Lane were navigating their own New Year's Eve fallout. Their tumultuous history had reared its head during the festivities when unresolved feelings and lingering tensions bubbled to the surface. A heated argument over misunderstandings had cast a shadow over their evening. The next morning, Brady decided to reach out to Chloe to clear the air. Meeting her at Horton Square, he started with an apology. "Chloe, I'm sorry for how things went down last night. I didn't mean to ruin your evening." Chloe's arms were crossed, but her expression softened slightly. "It wasn't just you, Brady. We've both been holding on to a lot of baggage. Maybe it's time we figure out what we really want." Their conversation was honest and raw, leading to a fragile truce. While neither of them was ready to dive back into a relationship, they agreed to take things one step at a time and focus on rebuilding trust. Gabby and Stefan's power struggle. The aftermath of New Year's Eve wasn't without its fair share of drama for Gabby Hernandez and Stefan DiMera. Their on-again, off-again relationship had taken a new twist during the celebrations when a passionate kiss reignited old flames. However, their rekindled feelings were complicated by their ongoing power struggle within DiMera Enterprises. Gabby confronted Stefan at the DiMera mansion, determined to address the elephant in the room. "We can't keep mixing business with whatever this is," she said, gesturing between them. Stefan smirked, his confidence unshaken. "You're the one who kissed me, Gabby. Maybe it's time you admit that you still want me." Gabby's eyes narrowed, but she couldn't deny the truth in his words. "Wanting you doesn't mean I'll let you walk all over me. If we're going to make this work, we need to set some ground rules." Their conversation turned into a heated negotiation, blending their personal and professional lives in true DiMera fashion. By the end, they reached a tentative agreement to give their relationship another shot, but only if they could maintain mutual respect in both the boardroom and the bedroom. Marlena's words of wisdom. Meanwhile, Dr. Marlena Evans found herself in the role of confidant for several Salem residents. After a long night of counseling friends and family through their New Year's Eve dilemmas, she reflected on the lessons the night had brought. In a heartfelt conversation with John Black over coffee, Marlena shared her thoughts. "The new year is always a time for fresh starts, but it's also a reminder that we need to let go of what's holding us back. Whether it's unresolved feelings, grudges, or fear of the unknown, we have to face them head-on." John nodded, his hand covering hers. "You're right, document. And maybe this year, we can help remind everyone in Salem to do the same." Looking ahead. As Salem residents navigated the aftermath of the New Year's Eve Love Fest, they were reminded that new beginnings often come with challenges. From Chanel's pursuit of a potential romance with Joy to Brady and Chloe's attempts to mend their fractured bond, each storyline carried the promise of growth and transformation. For now, Salem's streets were quiet, but the undercurrents of change were unmistakable. The year ahead held the potential for healing, heartbreak, and unexpected twists, ensuring that life in Salem would remain as unpredictable and captivating as ever. As the new year dawned over Salem, the aftermath of the extravagant New Year's Eve Love Fest was all anyone could talk about. The night had been a whirlwind of emotions, revelations, and unexpected twists that left many of Salem's residents grappling with the consequences of their actions. Salem's couples faced the fallout. The town's most iconic couples were front and center in the drama. Marlena and John, the enduring lovebirds of Salem, found themselves playing peacemakers yet again. After a night of too much champagne and a slip of the tongue, John inadvertently revealed a long-buried secret about his past that Marlena had sworn to take to the grave. The revelation sent shockwaves through the party, leaving Marlena to navigate the delicate task of damage control. Meanwhile, John struggled to repair the trust he had momentarily shattered. Elsewhere, the younger generation of Salem's lovers was also in turmoil. Johnny DiMera, the ever-charming rogue, had spent the evening trying to rekindle his romance with Chanel Dupree. But Chanel, still reeling from her breakup with Ali and wary of Johnny's impulsive ways, was in no mood to entertain his advances. Her rejection of Johnny at midnight, in front of a crowd, was as public as it was painful.